Welcome back, everybody. This is season 2, I think episode 5? Mid-season of the Blooper Reel podcast. I have an amazing guest for you. He's a very good friend of mine, one of the funniest comedians in Savannah. Been doing comedy for 12 years now. He's done multiple shows, including Don't Tell Savannah, and then he started out in West Virginia, which we're going to get into a little bit. He's currently going to Scad, and he's studying immersive reality. Please give a very warm welcome to Nate Cesco.
What's up, homie?
What's up, man?
That
was a good high five that we just did. That was cool. We're so cool.
Yeah. I do that every time. I think one time I went for a high five and someone went for a fist bump, and it just turned into an awkward thing.
I mean, the success rate for me on high fives is very low.
Yeah. So when you get a good one, it's like, oh, fuck, yes, dude.
Yeah.
I did this bit one time where it was when you're like dapping someone up, right? It's way worse when you fuck up a dap with a black dude than you do with like one of your white friends. You mess up a dap with one of your white friends, it's just like, whatever, it's fine. You do it with a black dude, it's like they're gonna.
There's a particular set of
they're
shame
gonna remember this. Yeah. I think I was talking to Kenny about that. But thank you so much.
Maybe
for
a more appropriate person to talk to about that.
Tell me about your black experience.
Yeah, what's your experience with race, Nate?
Dude, yeah, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Me,
I think the people who listen to this podcast, they've heard me mention you no less than a fucking 100 times on the show. I think you're a huge influence in the Savannah comedy scene. Like, a lot of people, I don't know if you know this, but like a lot of people, when they're talking about, top like 5 best comedians in Savannah, like you're in that conversation always.
That's really nice. That's wild that they do it because there's a lot of funny like Savannah comedians.
Yeah,
so that's really
you're
nice
one of them, dude.
Yeah.
Like, so you every time I've seen you, I don't think I've ever seen you bomb. I've seen you hit some rough rooms and but you still like have this swagger about you, and it's like you carry yourself through it. It's really
I
impressive.
bombed so hard here. Thankfully, you haven't seen it. I've had maybe the worst times of my life here.
Really?
Yeah, but it's fine. It comes with it. I'm not too devastated about it anymore.
Yeah, that's interesting. I want to talk more about that because you've just done. I've done comedy in Savannah, in Orlando, in Atlanta, and that's pretty much it. Like that's all my comedy experience. But you've done like a bunch of other places. So
yeah, I started in West Virginia, and then I lived in Chicago for a little bit, and then just touring around that area. So like I've done shows in Cincinnati, in like the greater Appalachian area. I went to a lot of small towns that you've never heard of, and done shows. But yeah, I've been in some places.
Now this on M Joy's podcast, if you guys remember, we mentioned that bisexual people wear overalls. And if you don't mind mentioning, you identify as bi. So I wanted to do this bit where I wanted to be like, look up a bunch of bisexual stereotypes.
Okay.
And the internet got really homophobic immediately.
Okay. I know it's going to be like a picture of me.
I was like, we can't talk about this on the air.
Yeah.
But the one is, I think that we can cover is, do bisexual people wear overalls?
Only in sexual situations. I've never worn overalls in my life, which is like being from, if the stereotype is bisexuals in West Virginia wear overalls, I haven't hit it. I don't know.
If there's a Venn diagram.
I'm an outcast. Yeah. I mean, I think I've tried on some overalls in my life and thought not for me. I don't know if that's
if I could wear overalls every day, I hate wearing belts.
Okay.
Yeah, overalls are so comfy.
You're a suspenders guy?
Yeah, I'm a suspenders guy. If I'm wearing a suit, I usually will wear suspenders.
Nice.
I can't wait till I hit the age to where it's socially acceptable to wear suspenders with my jeans.
Oh, yeah. When do you think that starts?
60.
I don't know. You can start that now. There was a dude at the show the other night who was dressed in a full suit, and he was 20.
At Portal?
Yeah.
And what was that all about?
I think they were ghosts.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Or just
or time travelers.
We're really racist, actually. And it's we like everything from this era. But no, they were in full 1950s.
I saw that. Yeah, and she had that. His girlfriend had that Miss Maisel. I think Emdra brought up. Yeah. It was very. What era is that?
I think 50s,
60s, yeah.
Yeah. But no, they said that they dressed like that every day. This wasn't an event thing. This was just what they've decided their identity is. So you could lock in that.
There's worse identities to have.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there's way worse than just being we like to dress well.
Yeah, this is a non-problematic identity, but there's some stuff that happened in those eras that maybe you shouldn't.
A little background. We were at Portal, hosted by M Joy. It's on Mondays at 9 in Savannah, and there was this couple that came in, younger, early 20s couple.
Yeah,
and they were dressed the guy was in a suit and tie, and the girl was in this dress and a very 50s, 60s style.
Yeah, they were
outfits
era clothing.
Yeah,
like it wasn't like a modern suit.
Right.
It
wasn't a modern suit, and we were just like, "What are you guys, time travelers? Like, what the fuck is going on here?"
Yeah. They just locked in. That's their
good for them.
Their algorithm has given them that aesthetic, and God bless them.
They love it. Yeah. I was in Korea with a guy who
I love a sentence. I was in Korea with a guy. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was in Korea with this soldier, and he was a weird guy, dude. I don't remember his name, but as soon as we got off work, every day he would change into a 3-piece suit, and he had like the pocket watch chain, and he had like a fedora, and that's just what he wore.
Yeah.
And one day I was like, "Why are you doing this?" And he's like, "I just like to look nice." I was like, "Okay, I don't think we're gonna be friends. This is a good conversation, but I don't think we're gonna be friends."
Some people need that to get by. That's what you need to get through.
Who are you hurting?
Right.
Who are you hurting?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into your life a little bit, dude. West Virginia, like born in Virginia or West Virginia, what is that like? I know some people from West Virginia. I may have like driven through there once, but what was like growing up in West Virginia like?
And also just a clarification, and I'm going to expose all the ways that I'm a fraud.
Okay.
I technically am from Ohio. But it was the southernmost point of Ohio, and it was a bedroom community for a town in West Virginia called Huntington. Okay. So like my entire life is framed around being from West Virginia.
Yeah.
But it's like, because you don't want to identify from being from Ohio.
That's fair.
Yeah. So, but no, it's like a very small town. I like graduated. My graduating class was like 80 people. Like very much like hobbies included hunting, or lifting your truck.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you could tell by the energy that I'm emitting, I was not that. So like my experience was very much defined by in a lot of different ways, separating myself from that a little bit. So.
You know what I've noticed now is Toby from Wyoming, like big cowboy country. Evie from Texas, huge cowboy ranching country. Like you have these like stereotypes of okay, this state has this type of people. West Virginia, if you say West Virginia, like people in their mind are like this is they're picturing a person. It's not you,
right?
But it's just funny that like the comedians I've interviewed that are from these places, they're like the outlier in that.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, and then also I think because I grew up there, I spent a lot of time there, and then in my 20s was that was where I was doing most of my artistic. You meet a lot of other people like you, and you realize this is actually like a specific type of West Virginian that's here that I'm a part of that doesn't fit the broader narrative. And then you also start to appreciate a little more why other people are the way that they are and the circumstances in their life. So there's nuance in every place. I think that just gets washed away.
100%. I think if you are that person, and there's nothing against it. Like I have friends in Kentucky who have lived in this small town in Kentucky and they love it. Like they have a family. That's just their world and they love it. But whenever I traveled a lot in my life, met tons of different people. It is perspective that changes. I think your mind just opens up to so many different things in the world, and so many different views and perspectives. I think you become, I don't know if it's the best word, but more tolerant of maybe more empathetic even too.
I think there's a degree of empathy to it, but then there's also a part of it where it's people are dealing with their own lives and stuff, and whenever you grow up in a place that hardship is a thing, that it's I just got to focus on the hardship, and sometimes it's really hard to wrongly care about other people whenever my life fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So again, there could be more empathy. Yeah. I think that's baseline, but you start to see the specifics as to why people are the way that they are.
Yeah. Why are you the way that you are?
yeah. I mean, and that's what was cool. Is I was in a college town, so Huntington, West Virginia is where Marshall is. If you're unfamiliar, the movie that
We Are Marshall.
We Are Marshall. That's that town. So it's I got to be in this little liberal pocket of the broader West Virginia.
That's so fucking cool. Yeah. So what is what age? You said 12 years, right? So 2013 you said?
Yeah, 20. I can tell you the first day that I did stand-up comedy, it would have been, I think it was March 12th.
Why do you know that?
Because it's the day that the Pope Francis became Pope Francis.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I always thought I should also go do my big life thing too and go to an open mic.
Well, we have a new Pope. Let's make other life changes.
I was planning on doing it, and I was I like topical news stuff. I grew up watching comedy.
You do. A lot of your stuff is just what you see on the news, and you I tell you, that's where I get my current events. I go to open mics and I just listen to this.
I heard you say that to Evie. That was very concerning. You should.
Yeah, I don't. Just the news is sad and angry.
Yeah. There's a lot going on. Yeah. You should. There's another virus.
Dude.
But I planned on doing comedy. I had like written out a set, and then the Pope stuff started. Like the Pope died, and then we got a new Pope, and I just like that day was like, oh, I have thoughts on this, so I like rewrote my entire set, and then went that night and did comedy for the first time.
And had you been working on like have you been thinking about it? Had you been working on it?
I had decided I'm probably going to try stand-up comedy, and was writing bits at that point in time.
Were you always like the funny guy in the group, or
no? Absolutely not.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so interesting. You're just like,
I got a lot of like whenever I started doing it, people would be like, "You interesting?" And I'm like, "Yes, me." We can get into that. I think that like I was trying to define why that was the case too. And I think I pinpointed it. But
talk through it. What do you got, man?
Like I had a very funny family growing up.
Okay.
Like they were very bitty, and I'm realizing now it's just like inside jokes, but it was just like whenever they were all together, it was so quick, and then like making each other laugh. And I wasn't like that.
Oh,
like
no.
I wasn't thriving in that environment, but I'm like, I know I'm funny. But it's like, so I had to go away and like write stuff.
Oh.
And then
so you weren't like on the spot, like
right,
okay.
And so, but I had to like stake out in the world that like I could make people laugh, but that required prep.
Right.
So I think that's where my interest from it came, was like trying to understand how humor works and then going and doing it. Yeah.
Now, is it just like comedy writing, or do you do like any other type of writing to where like you just get your thoughts out and like expand on things?
I learned other like I've used to write screenplays, and like now I'm transitioning that into games. But like me and my writing partner at the time wrote like a sci-fi movie, and whenever we did that, we're like, it was a comedy, but we're like, we can't just make a funny movie that's kind of sci-fi. Like we should learn all of what makes good sci-fi. So like I did start doing deep dives on like why genre works and stuff. Yeah. So like I do other types of writing, but it all generally ends up framed around comedy. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Now what did you meet so your beautiful wife Ariana, did you meet her in West Virginia? Where'd you guys meet?
Yeah, we met in West Virginia. She's from West Virginia also.
She's from West Virginia?
She's from I'm from Huntington. She's from Charleston, which is the capital.
Yeah.
Like 40 minutes away. She had come there because she was going to do medical school
to Huntington
at Marshall.
Okay.
Yeah, so she ended up at an open mic, and we met at an open mic.
No shit.
Yeah.
How many open mics like have you done to this point?
That was years later. Like at this point, like that. Yeah. I mean, I started.
Imagine if it was the first one and like.
I would not have a wife. No, it's like
we're gonna delve more into that first set.
Well, it's like that's like the best I ever done is like the night I end up getting a wife. You know.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's either $50 or a wife. It's like the pay. So, yeah.
Nice, dude. And then how did she feel like? She's always been supportive of your stand-up. Like she doesn't come out often, I don't think. Like maybe once or twice.
She's gone to a lot of bad open mics in her life, and not saying that the mics here are bad in particular, but she's like, I've seen a lot of people work out jokes. I don't need to see that anymore. Yeah. And in some of them were awful scenarios. So she's come out enough that now she's like, whenever you're booked on something and I'm free, I'll come to a show.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
But no, she's always been like super supportive. She's creative herself. She like her degrees. She's a doctor now. Yeah. Because she's incredible and smart.
You're married to a doctor.
Yeah, wild. Don't trust your doctors. They make bad decisions. But she like has a degree in music. Like that was
really?
Her like.
What's like her instrument of choice? Does she play still?
Flute. Yeah. Flute? She doesn't currently play. Much to the chagrin of her parents, who like made her learn flute.
Yeah. Just we invested so much in this.
Yeah. So, but no, she went to school for music. She hosted a podcast at one point in her life.
What?
She was like a college radio kid. Yeah.
Dude, your wife is so like multifaceted. So cool. What do you?
Brilliant. Yeah.
Do you understand that she's so out of your league?
I fully know. I'm like you're. I say the worst thing about her is her taste in men. I'm like, what are you doing?
Remember that Instagram post? So I was stalking Nate's Instagram before just to like learn a little bit more about him, and I think one of the things you put in that post is like your worst decision is your taste in men or something like that. Yeah. It's so funny.
It's so true. But no, she's always been supportive, and I was pretty like open on like early. I was like because we met, I was mid-20s at that point in time.
Okay.
We met in like into 2018, into 2019, and I was like, this is what I'm doing. Like, there's not any financial stability to this, but I've decided like this is my course in life, and then she's like on board immediately. Yeah. So yeah.
Nice. That's fucking awesome. I don't know. I bet if I didn't go to the Army for like 15 years, I don't know where my life would be right now, honestly. I think I probably would still be living in Kentucky, and I don't know, I'd be at a factory or something. Nothing wrong with that, but I think that's like, I didn't have like any drive.
Was it like I gotta get out situation, or was
I think so. Well, I don't know if it was necessarily that I needed to get out, but it was like, I wasn't going. I had no drive. I had no ambition or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So I was very impulsive. So I was like, at 17, I was like, fuck it, we're joining the Army. And then like through the Army, like I, like learned ambition and learned the value of like work and bettering yourself and stuff like that. So now I think I'd be a very different person without it. So all right, West Virginia, right? How long before, like, what was the next move after West Virginia?
So I can give like a bit of a more specific timeline. I started in 2013, and I was doing sketch comedy videos before that with like my friends in high school.
Before you did any
stand-up, I like spent probably like a year doing just sketch videos on YouTube that nobody was watching, and I was like, okay, that was starting to fall apart a little bit. So
Are they still up? Like, could we like look up?
Yeah, but please don't.
I'm looking that. I'm looking them up.
I had crazy hair and just like was writing these really weird bits. We had a video that did became popular, but only with a very specific subset of people, and it was people who liked male possession videos.
Male possession.
It's like the concept of a ghost male embodying another male, like taking over his body.
Okay, yeah.
I guess there's like a weird sex fandom, and they found our video, and like we just for like years kept getting comments like, make more of these videos.
Get the fuck, just like one dude, just like
no, it was it was a whole bunch of people,
yeah.
like because the video you're getting like thousands, you're getting no views, like hundreds of views, and then this one shot up to like 10,000, and we're like, why? And it's just a whole bunch of people being like, we want him to possess him again. So
that's
anyway,
crazy.
We were making videos. I started to do comedy as another way of like branching out, but I didn't do it a whole bunch for like 2013. I was still like kind of making sketches as I could. And then at the end of 2015 was like my sketch group had fully fallen apart. I was like, I think stand-up is what I'll spend more time doing. And I was meeting other comedians that way. So I started like a little comedy collective with my friends there. So it's like, that's when like 2016 is like the real start to me doing comedy, because that was when I was like...
Well, you're like fully invested in it. It wasn't just like something you're using to like supplement this other thing you're doing.
Right. And I was also, the other people I was meeting were way more interested. I was like forcing my friends who were like in school for like chemistry like to be in sketch comedy videos, and they just got to the point where they're like, we're adults, we can say no to this. But I was meeting other people who were doing comedy. So we started booking shows at the end of 2015 into 2016.
Booking shows?
Yeah, like, I mean, there's not a ton of comedy.
Like, shows it like you were producing... Oh, yeah, that's one thing I want to ask. So, like, what's the open mic scene in Huntington, West Virginia, or...
I'm not up with it right now, but, like...
When you started.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's actually really cool. We had, like, a cool scene of, like, I said it was in a college town. A town of, like, 50,000 people, but, like... There was still like 25 to 30 people actively doing comedy.
That's a good bit.
Yeah. I mean, for the size town, and also like a number of good people. Like it's really cool now to look at like people who have like gone out other places. Like I'm in Savannah, and I feel like I'm not like famous or crushing it, but I'm like, oh, okay, I'm doing okay on shows. My writing partner's in Boston, he's doing okay on shows. I have friends in Pittsburgh. Like I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
And they all started from there, and like
all of us started there, and like I think there were some circumstances that like I'm not saying I made it, but like you wouldn't expect Huntington, West Virginia to be like a cool comedy place, but like our mics there, because our crowds were so small, was like all new material mics.
Yeah.
Like you came with new stuff every
How frequently? Like every week?
We only had 2 mics a month. So like you had to write for and like refine and make sure that was good, because like there's essentially only like a rotation of 500 people coming out to these shows. They are going to see you again. So we were writing a bunch of new stuff, and then just like doing writing workshops and helping each other. But then we started traveling out more. Like Charleston had some more mics. So
do you think? Because I think me and Brett and Tracy have talked about this. I'm telling you, like we like fangirl over you. It's fucking pathetic. But like me and Tracy like,
you can aim a little higher.
Fucking Nate just has like new shit all the time. Nate has new shows. So do you think like in that situation,
I think that's what it was.
It trained you to be a better writer and like
because you had to focus on the writing to make sure that was good. Like I do think I missed out on a lot of like stage time, like the reps part of it. But like from a writing perspective, it was like, oh, I just have to spend a lot of time thinking about comedy.
Which that was your style for humor anyway. Like you were saying when you were like with your family, like, hey, I need to build it
really
myself.
lended itself to that, but we started booking and producing shows, so it was like I was making sketch videos. We knew some stand-ups who were pretty good. There was a guy, like I think our first show we booked, his name was Robbie Sherrard, and he used to like go viral for these like vlogs that he would do. Like they were like...
What were they about?
They were really absurd. Like he did this whole thing about him like finding women's underwear on the street and like not understanding like the logistics. He's like, I've just never really spent time like exploring. It was like this 4-minute video, but it like got to like the front page of Yahoo, which at the time was like a big like Reddit, BuzzFeed type stuff. So I was at an open mic in Charleston, and he was there, and I was like, That's the guy from Yahoo. So I was like, man, if we booked a show, would you come to Huntington and do it? And he's like, yes, I am not sure. Yeah. So he came and did that.
He's like, let me check my schedule. I'm available.
I'm very available right now. And he was very funny. I actually don't think he does comedy anymore. But so we booked him. We booked some other people. We used to have a Funny Bone that was in my town, but it closed before I started doing comedy. So there was like
a proper comedy club?
Proper comedy club that people would tour through. Yeah. Andy Dick was arrested in Huntington, West Virginia for assaulting
doing Andy Dick things.
I think he groped a bouncer.
That's Andy Dick things.
That's what you do in Huntington.
Yeah.
So yeah, we started this booking shows that were like a mixture of stand-up comedy and sketch comedy. We'd like play sketch videos on a projector, and then comics would come in.
Oh, interesting. Why didn't you do like the scenes were just too elaborate to do it live sketch on stage, or?
I think I was already doing the production, and we had our ideas that made more sense to we weren't doing live production. We were also in a bar that had like a really great projector setup. I'm like, oh, this will actually feel, and it'll give us downtime. So we just started like writing sketches for that. Yeah. And then booking comedians for that, and it sort of just grew out of there. Like, oh, we're booking showcases fairly regularly now. Yeah.
Was it so I set a goal for myself this year. I wanted to produce my first show. And I've been doing comedy for like 7 months now, and I felt, I don't know why, I felt like this anxiety, or like I felt like I shouldn't produce a show right now, because it was like I think I talked to you about it at Stafford's. Remember, I think I was like 4 months into comedy, and I was like, Nate, I want to produce a show, and I think at that point I was like, I didn't know enough. I wasn't good enough as like comic or something like that. And so I think that was.
Did I say that to you?
Yeah, you said like, no, I'm kidding, you didn't say it. That'd be insane. Just like big league, he's like, all right, champ, like maybe take a couple years off. No, you didn't say it. But just me, like internal, just like, I think it was too soon. I just like didn't really have my feet under me with comedy. But we are. I think we mentioned it last week, June 6th, producing our first show.
Nice, congrats.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm a very I plan everything out. I need everything planned out. Like my contingencies have contingencies.
I think it's a good quality to have if you're organizing things.
It is to an extent.
Right. Yeah. It can be smothering.
I will take it to the point where it's like self-deprecating.
Yeah.
But I've like taught myself like, hey, there's things that are out of your control. So I've like told myself like the night of, something's going to happen. You're not gonna expect it in any way possible, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. And I'm just like accepting that.
Yeah.
But like, what challenges did you face? Because that's, how long would you say you were doing like just sketch comedy and scenes before you produced your first show? What's that timeline?
Well, I started doing the sketch comedy in like 2011 with that group, and then I started stand-up in 2013, and we didn't start booking shows until 2015. So it was a few years at that point in time.
What were like some of the curveballs, like producing the first show? Because it's like no one really teaches you how to produce a show. It's just like you just like kind of have to do it. You can do research on your own, talk to people, but like until you do it.
I think. Well, I mean, I don't know how much this translates. Well, like my first perspective was like, this has to be, and maybe this is obvious, enjoyable for the audience. I just like thought about it immediately. I was like, if I'm attending a show, what are the things I need to feel confident in? So it's like everything from like the person at the door has to be like pleasant, and I just like had to walk through the entire process because that's how my brain works.
That's smart.
And just make sure that we were like trying to serve that. So I don't know. That's probably a good perspective, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just like put yourself in the shoes of the audience and just be like, okay, like
I need to feel confident that the opener is like doing really good, and like they know what they're like. Especially whenever you're like not at a club, because people go to a club and the buy-in is, I'm in a comedy club, I expect good comedy. But whenever you're selling bar comedy shows with comedians you've never heard of, there's like a bit of a like hurdle you have to get over. Be like, is this going to be good? So it's like, okay, if we're great right out the gate, the host knows what he's doing. The host like.
The host and the doorman, I feel like is a pretty important thing. Like if you just have some like it sets
if
the
tone.
Vibe
is weird, and I've been to shows where the doorman starts. I've been to shows where the doorman has stolen money from the shows. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's just the thing that I'm not going to call anybody else.
Crazy.
Not here. No, this was other places. But like just like, oh, we're short for the number of people here. But yeah, if you're getting weird vibes at any point before the show starts, early in the show, then people are like, it's really hard to get that back. Yeah. So like we chose like venues that were like, okay, we know this venue is going to serve drinks. We can tell the staff also like, hey, people are performing. Don't like chat with the people at the table. Like, and that was also cool about the videos that we were putting on. Is like, oh, they would know they came out during the videos. Like we told them, like that's when they did their service.
Smart.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, those were particular things for us, but we really were like trying to map out like, how can we make this good aside from the comedy just being funny for the
Make it a good experience, and then it's like, also there's great comedy.
And then after we did that a few times and people got really comfortable, like knowing where they saw one of our flyers, they're like, oh, this is a thing I can go to and know I'll have a good time. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I'm pretty nervous. I think it's going to be good. Let's see. What else I got written down here? There's a lot. There's so much of like your comedy. That's the thing, like interviewing comedians that have like, like 12 years, like Kenny, like 20 years, like there's so much of your life and it's hard to like condense
distill
it.
Down into an hour,
So we talked about West Virginia. What year did you move from West Virginia?
So it was in 2017, the summer, I decided I'm going to go to Chicago.
Chicago. So are you and Ariana married at this point?
No, we haven't met yet.
You haven't met yet?
This is years before we met.
Right.
So me and my writing partner, I had a friend who was living in Chicago at the time. He was like, hey, I'm in this apartment. I have room if you all want to come up. And so me and my writing partner moved up. I unfortunately got a job that was like made it really hard to do stand-up comedy.
What job were you doing in Huntington while you were doing comedy there?
I was the digital program director for a cluster of iHeart radio stations. So I worked, it was actually...
Sounds fun.
As far as, like, media jobs you can have in West Virginia, like, that was maybe one of the sickest days. Yeah, so it's like I, like, had to do... If the morning show DJs were doing bits, I would have to, like, go in and film it and then manage all their socials. And then sometimes whenever the morning DJs on the, like, lesser-known stations were... my brother worked there also. My brother was a radio DJ.
Okay.
And since we both worked there and we had like a good rapport, we would get to fill in on the morning show.
That's pretty fucking cool.
So there's like random spurts that me and my brother are the hosts of this morning show in West Virginia.
Cool. Are you close with your brother? Older or younger?
He's 5 years older than me.
5 years older?
Yeah. I mean, I would say that like he has his own life that's happening. I have my own life that's happening. But like, I think my brother's brilliant and like love talking to him. So yeah, we're close in that sense. But creatively at that point in time, we really were aligned as far as work. So yeah, I was working that job, and thankfully, I mean, I'm not happy I worked at iHeartRadio, but I was able to transfer. I was like, if I put in a transfer to somewhere else, can I go? So I could get a job in Chicago, and that like gave me a very clear path. Sadly,
what was the reasoning? Like, why you're like, hey, just time for a change, or like you wanted to just like see other shit?
We were doing well at comedy in West Virginia, and like the other part of this too was like we were doing sketches. We started making short films that would like play locally. Like we had this like film sprint that would happen that like 300 people would show up for and like watch short films, and we made a couple that like really hit. There was like. I would go for like years in West Virginia into bars, and people would call me the River Dolphin.
Why?
It was a character that I did. It was like we made like a parody, like a Netflix documentary where I believed that there was a dolphin in the Ohio River, and like it was like I wouldn't say crazy high production, but it sold itself. Like, and so people were like, this is going to sound crazy if you're not, but are you the River Dolphin? Yeah, that's me. Please know me as something else.
That's so funny.
So we were like...
I got to watch that thing, dude.
That's one you can go back and find. Don't find any of the
others. To watch that.
Actually, I mean, we have a few that we're actually really proud of towards the end of the run there. But we were writing sketches. We were making short films. We were doing stand-up, doing well enough. My writing partner was willing to move. Yeah. And we're just like, Chicago is like one of the coolest comedy cities in the world. Yeah. Like, we should go there and do comedy. And luckily, we got to go there and do it a bit. But my job was to go film and do photographs at concerts at that one time. So that
sounds like a pretty fun job.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
It happens when comedies happen.
It happens at the exact same time. I'm there, I'm like, I can't. And I had trouble finding another job. My writing partner's like, I don't really like Chicago that much. So he leaves. And then the guy I'm also living with is, he goes to do the Appalachian Trail, which I
want to do that. So actually, I want to do the
You have Appalachian Trail vibes. Yeah. I don't mean that as a slur.
I feel like it is. I feel offended.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's just because it's like the Pacific Crest Trail is just on the rocky side. Yeah. I went down like I have a very addictive personality. So when something like gets in my head, I research it until it's disgusting to me. Mm-hmm. And I was like looking into it for months and doing research, and I like planned out a route and planned out like the best time frame to go, best gear to get, and everything like that. And then I was like, for like an experienced hiker, is like 9 months to do the Pacific Crest Trail. She's just like camping for 9 months. Yeah, essentially. But like some people will take like, how are you gonna take 9 months off of work?
Yeah.
Right. Like some people do like 2-week spurts until they finish the whole thing. Which sounds exhausting. Yeah. But the Appalachia Trail, I think more people get murdered on the Appalachia Trail.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Like if you look at like I listen to a lot of true crime stuff, and like there's like on the Appalachia
It's
Trail.
like a specific spot. Like once it gets
the trail. I'm pretty sure it's like near like West Virginia, like in that area.
Like, you climb Mount Everest. There's like you see dead bodies, but you're just like walking through the woods of Georgia. And you're like, there's a lot of dead bodies around. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good. So he went left, and then at that point, I was like, I don't know anybody else here. I'm not thriving at comedy. I don't like this job. So I talked to my writing partner. I was like, are we still writing? Are we still together? Because he was back in West Virginia, and he was like, yeah, I'd like to still do stuff. I was like, well, if I come back, we like have to do stuff. I can't just sit around and do nothing.
Making a move and then coming back to nothing is just like, well, why did I should have just stayed there. Yeah.
So I was like, so I came back, we wrote our first feature film, which I'm really proud of.
What's it called?
It's called The Omega Crew.
What's it about?
It's it was like, like the concept of in Star Trek of like the red shirts, like the red shirts are like the fodder for
I don't know much about Star Trek, but okay.
The idea is like you send the red shirts in to die first. So we imagine this like Star Trek like entity in space where they basically take all the worst performing Star Trek cadets and they start putting them on these like secret suicide mission teams.
And they just don't tell them.
And they just don't tell them. You don't know. You're the Omega Crew. So like the last and then this is like the one that like figures out what's happening. So and they go on this adventure that ends up saving the universe. I like the humor in it a lot. I actually talked about my writing partner. I was like, if I adapt this into a game, could we like maybe rework this? So we wrote a feature. We made a short film that we're really proud of. We ended up doing a web series about Fallout, the video games.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Fallout 76 was set in West Virginia, was coming out around that time.
Okay.
So I was like, let's like make a web series where we go around West Virginia and talk about all this stuff. We got like our local news anchor to play the beta of Fallout 76. Yeah, we went and hunted for the Mothman, like a whole bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Then the game came out and everybody hated it, and like our views fell off a cliff right after that. But we just did a lot of work in that. Like it was like the most intensive window of us doing stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think it's almost like that thing where you're like you were starved for. At what time frame would you say you were in Chicago where you like weren't getting to do comedy, you weren't getting to do any writing or anything like that? You were just focused on work and like fuck, I hate this. Like what time frame is that?
That's like 2017 to 2018.
So like a year of just like hate this thing. When you're creative and you're just like. Or like an artist, and you have like this itch you want to scratch,
and you went to a place where you're hoping that this is going to be like the next elevation thing, and even if it's hard, but you get there and it's like.
So when you went and had that opportunity, all these ideas you've been stealing, they just start pouring out, and you're like, oh, like yeah. So maybe like that break was good because you like really developed ideas, and then just like had a flood of them, and like created.
Yeah, I think so, and I learned more production stuff, and I think we did come back with this like energy. Sadly, we did end up like burning ourselves out a little bit because we were doing so many things, and I think. Our creative group at that point in time was also feeling like, do we want to keep, we at that point, we were in a college town, and we were there because they were going to college there. Yeah. And they were like, am I going to move on somewhere else? So, like, we kind of, that faded. But the cool thing about, like, making stuff in West Virginia at that time was the crossover. Like, there's a really good music scene. There was a really good film scene. Yeah. We managed to maintain a really cool comedy scene. And I think one of the particulars with that was our mics that we would do would be midweek. And we realized like all of the people who worked on the weekends, including the cool musicians, were now coming to our show. And like
that's fucking dope.
Ours was like the midweek hangout whenever they were off. So like I don't know if you know who Tyler Childers is.
Yeah, I love Tyler.
A bunch of people in his sphere was from our town.
No shit.
So like those were the people who were hanging out, and like they had like a vibe around them, and we were sort of like sifting off that vibe a little bit. I actually did Tyler Childers parody songs.
What?
Yeah, those are.
You sing?
Yeah, I sing and play guitar, but like not well enough to like bring it up that much.
I want to learn how to play piano. I don't know why. I don't know where to start.
Piano lessons.
Really?
I think you could do it.
Yeah. I don't know how to read music. I used to play guitar in high school. Yeah. My buddy Keith, we thought we were gonna be like this country blues band, and like we would practice every day after school. And then like I joined the army. I never fucking picked up a guitar again. Yeah.
Wow, that's sad. No, you should. Yeah. There's not a guitar floating around in this house somewhere.
No, there's not.
Okay.
I don't know what happened to it.
That's sad. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a lot. Like
if you want, it sounds like you're wanting to.
I don't know. Piano sounds cool. I don't know why. Like I had this thought, and I was like, okay, I want to do this. But I think I have so many things going. My thing is like, so my work schedule right now is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and like and I'm off Monday through Thursday.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And originally I was like, I have so much time off. Like, I want to do all these things. But I'm the type of person where I can't sit still, so I just filled that Monday through Thursday with insane things, and then now it's like I don't have any free time. I have less free time than when I had like a regular one. It's stupid. Now, okay, so you're back. You guys like producing. You said you kind of like burned yourself out. Mm-hmm. What is the next move for you?
So we're working on stuff. We ended up like this ends up around 2018, and we're like figuring out that part. And so my creative group ended up having a bit of a falling out, like a broader one in the film scene, because we all tried to put together this feature film, and all the personalities clashed. And there, by the end of it, everybody like I was like, this is dumb that we're all bickering so much, and other people ended up hating each other. So I ended up
hating each other.
Some people, like never.
What were these creative differences? Like, how big of a creative difference? Because you guys have done multiple projects.
Like if I want to be like, this was like another filmmaker's thing. Who's a great guy. I think what it was is just like not clearly defined roles, and like the other people involved, who I think are also great people. Like it was just like not clear what I was supposed to be doing and what part was mine and what part was theirs, and then like so they're clashing over like these different visions for this thing.
Why do you think? Because it seems like how many productions have you guys done at this point?
We've done a lot. I was also.
What do you think? Like, why was it not clearly defined in this production? And it like
because it wasn't our film.
It was
okay. So like more indie productions started happening that we got involved with. So like we would go and work on other people's projects and stuff. So it just would end up being one of those projects that I think the particulars of it for whatever reason became really frustrating for people. So like people would like not show up to mics with other people who were, and so like, and those were the good comedians. So then the quality of the comedy kind of took a hit, and then so like our crowds weren't as big. And I'm like in a whirlwind of like, okay, this is my second sketch comedy group that's fallen apart. Comedy is not that great. I end up staying in this like haze a bit, and then COVID happens.
Yeah.
So that like delays us a little bit more.
Do you think you're like even now? Like, do you think you were a pretty big staple, like a pivotal point in like the Huntington like comedy scene, like establishing the show midweek, like you and your group, like you guys, I would say a pretty good like cornerstone of that.
Yeah, and like I said,
it's a huge accomplishment.
Oh, I don't know fully if it's a huge, but thank you. No, I'm really proud of the work we got to do there, and like to make comedy in a place like that was cool. Like, to build something from like you don't expect this to be here. Yeah. We lucked out because there was also a comedian in Morgantown who runs the Red Eye Comedy Festival, which is a really cool festival. He started like booking people from Brooklyn to like come through, and like his like concept was like, I can't pay you what a club pays you to come, but I could give you 4 nights in West Virginia. That'll be the most fun time. And it was because he knew that there was a good scene in Huntington, and he knew there was a good scene, and he could like take them all these places.
What a smart idea!
Yeah, it was really cool, and he would just like tour them around. So we got to benefit from like there was a point where he was basically
feeding you guys talent.
Yeah, so that we didn't have to do that much work, and we could do great shows. Yeah, so like it was a cool collaborative, creative space for better or worse. The issue is, if if your comedy group in Chicago or New York or LA falls apart, you could go join the other hundred things that are happening. But whenever it falls apart in Huntington, West Virginia, it's like
you have to start from square one.
Right. Yeah. So it kind of just put us in a rut a little bit but like around 2022 and stuff, we were still booking things that he was sending us. So yeah.
And then so like you said you're in this space where like, okay, this second group is falling apart now. Mm-hmm. Is that when you make the move to Savannah or?
So this is falling apart. It's pretty clear that me and Ariana we are together at this point in time. We had met at
How long have you been together at this point?
We met in 2019 or 2020. She came to an open.
Oh, you told me already. I'm sorry.
No
What was like? And like she was just like, did she just come up to you and was like, "You're the funniest fucking person"?
Well, she said she's like, "You weren't embarrassing."
Which what a compliment
for an open mic. Yeah. So I think we just hit it off on like she's my favorite person in the world to talk to, and that was pretty like clear early on. It's like, oh, we just like vibe and click, and you like always have interesting thoughts that I want to know. So yeah, we were dating. She would come to a lot of comedy shows. She also started doing her own creative ventures at that point. She started making zines and stuff, and we just like, I don't know, we're always feeding each other's little creative niche. But she was in med school. I don't know if you know the process for med school.
I know it's long. It's expensive.
It takes a while to get there. But there's a crazy part at the end called the match, where you basically pick 5 places that you're willing to go.
Right.
And then you hopefully get interviews at those places. Mm-hmm. And then they rank you and you rank them. You're like, my top choice is this. My second choice is this. They're doing, our top choice is this candidate. So an algorithm matches you and you have no say. You were in the military. I'm sure
it's very similar.
Used to just being sent to a place.
Yeah. Well, they give you an option. It's fucking bullshit. They like, go to this website and fill out your top 3 choices, and then you might get that. It's a lie. You're wasting your time. Because they're just going to say wherever the fuck
Yeah.
they want you. Yeah, you'll get a place that's not even on your list. It's bullshit.
So I mean, especially for like doctors, like really type A people who like to know what their life is going to be. So that right at the end of their med school, they're just like, all right, let's gamble. So she ended up finding this program in Savannah that she really liked and was like really served her interest.
What was second place? Like, what was her top 3?
I think we were looking at like Louisville, Kentucky.
I used to live in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Louisville has a great comedy scene there too. Yeah.
Did really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
There's
that.
a place there called Planet.
I didn't even like think about. I wasn't even thinking about stand up like.
It's a cool town. I don't want to talk shit about Louisville, but they seem to kind of be doing this like Portland of the East thing. Yeah. That I'm like, you all are really special on your own. You don't need that. Like,
Why? Just be Louisville.
Yeah.
Make some awesome baseball bats. That's what you do.
Is that what they're known for?
Yeah, Louisville Sluggers.
Oh, nice.
I mean, that's like one of the things they're known for. Yeah. A bunch of other shit.
As a creative, you all got your own vibe. You don't need to cop off somebody else. But great Dan Alton's there. He's a really great comedian who actually performed at our wedding.
No way.
Yeah, we got to have a little fun after party, and we
awesome,
had a comedian there.
Where'd you guys get? What state did you guys get married?
In West Virginia.
West Virginia. Okay.
Yeah. So we knew that she was coming to Savannah. Outside of that, it was like possibly Louisville, possibly Columbus, Ohio. Like just. Yeah, Columbus is not a. Never mind. I'm not going to spend time talking shit about every American city.
Ohio, you're doing fine. You're fine, Ohio. It's fine.
I love how this video. It's like, well, we did really great everywhere except for Louisville and Columbus. No, it just didn't seem like our vibe. So I had family in Savannah whenever I grew up here. Like whenever I was growing up. Yeah. And they were like, this was like my vacation spot whenever I was
like aunts and uncles type shit.
Yeah, aunts and uncles and some cousins. And so during the summers, occasionally we would come down here. So I was like, this is a vacation town. It's and Scad ended up becoming my like dream school whenever I was younger and wanted to go to film school, but I grew up really poor and could not afford to go to college, let alone art college.
Scad.
Yeah. So whenever that was the option, she was like, I'm not going to be there for 4 years. That's the amount of time. You don't have a degree. It's the amount of time it would take to get a degree. So would you be cool? Like, would you want to go to Scad? And I was like, yes, wife.
That's so awesome, man.
So our life just kind of like ended up being really conducive for me to be able to get a degree, her to finish up her residency. So we're here for the 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
how far into the 4 years are you now?
We have 1 more year left.
And then you're leaving?
And then I'm gone forever.
That's gonna be so sad.
Yeah.
But let's so we're in Savannah now. Mm-hmm. We're at Scad and immersive reality. Mm-hmm. Talking about that.
It sounds like you made up a degree. I always love that it sounds like you made up a degree on the spot.
It sounds bad. It sounds bad.
It's not a real thing.
You wanted to go to Scad. Like Scad is like the I don't know, it's like what Juilliard is to music, like Scad is to like arts and design, right? Like
I was really curious about this. Like, are they just like selling themselves? And it turns out, as far as like in certain like verticals, I guess you would say, they really are like a premier arts.
They're a big dog, yeah. Like just the infrastructure and the equipment and like the facilities available to you guys is great. Now. You mentioned, right, so you have this, like, you're doing screenwriting and, like short films and things like that, and then, like, doing comedy. But then where is it that you found this passion for, like, because immersive reality, is it, if I'm being too, like, I don't want to, like, diminish it, but it's just, like, video game designing.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is what my actual interest is.
That's your prime interest.
Yes.
How does comedy and, like, comedy writing like play into this? Because you said you had that one with the the Omega Crew.
Yeah.
How would that, like, as a comedy film, like turn into a video game? Like, talk me through that.
Well,
why video games?
Well, I personally saw this like threshold that was like we're about to cross, where it's like if you were into video games any time before like 2020 or whatever, it's a really expensive endeavor. You'd like buy a $multi-$100 console. You'd be willing to pay $70 a game. And so I was like, okay, well, this is innately keeping a lot of people out of this space. Yeah. It's essentially just interactive media. Like in every particular about video games sort of became designed around feeding those types of people. And I'm like, but I think more people can play, like you can play really high quality games on your phone now. More people are getting high quality PCs. I was like, I think this is going to expand a little bit. And if the concept is just interactive media, like, there's more room for different types of storytelling that would happen there. Okay. And I had never seen the types of comedy that I like to do, and like there's some funny video games, but like I was like, things that me and my friends are writing, I don't think has necessarily been translated into games yet. So,
I don't even know what that translation would look like. Like I don't know how.
Well, it's like my ultimate goal. I say it's like I would really like to make an HBO show that you could play. Like I would really like Succession or like The Bear, but you're controlling the social interactions and stuff. And also games started to look a little more filmic. I think there's like some.
What is that? Is that like an RPG? Is that what that's called, or what is? I don't know.
No, I mean, there's like interactive narrative games that already do exist. So there's like.
What are some examples of that?
The Quarry is like one of the ones. It's like a horror film. You like basically play it all the way through. And there's like a few. What is it? Until Dawn is another one. That would be like that. Yeah. So it's like these ideas of like you're interacting with a movie. I'm trying to find a more interesting space in that's not just like. I'm necessarily just playing a movie, but I'm like, how can I invoke the feeling of what it would be like to be in an HBO show, and that's the environment. So that's the thing I like exploring and finding jokes. Like right now, I'm doing this therapy app game. It's a parody of like wellness apps, but it's teaching you how to be more calm in white collar crime situations. So it's like the therapies are like you have to like destroy documents and like light your building on fire.
That's awesome.
And like break into the competitors' offices and stuff. And it's like the whole framing is like you're just supposed to be more used to this whenever you have a high level executive job. Right. And I'm like, oh, that's the type of humor I like, and I want it to feel the way I'm like constructing these jokes is it's approachable for people who have never played a game before.
Is that like what? Are you a big video game person?
I'm getting back into them now. I was like growing up; it was like the foundation of my entire life, and then I took a bit of a break because I don't know.
Adult shit to do.
Right, and my friend groups really at that point in time weren't super into games, so it was kind of easy. Like there was no social.
What's your like? What would you say is like your all-time favorite video game?
My all-time? Well, that'd be hard because like I grew up like Halo is so pivotal to my entire upbringing. I played the Halo 3 campaign so many times with different people getting through. Like things like Sifu is really great. Oh, but ultimately, if we want to get to the now, the Yakuza games, Like a Dragon, they're like essentially just put you in a neighborhood in Tokyo, and you're playing as a mobster, and you like play through this narrative while you're also like exploring and like playing these arcade games, and like you just like live in this like little neighborhood.
What?
And, this has been running since like the early 2000s.
Is this just Japanese GTA?
They're akin to each other. It's actually like a brawler video game, but I think the fun of it is like you spend 30 hours in this world with these people who are like these very colorful characters, and it very much is like it's more so like reading a novel than it necessarily is like playing a like action.
And that's the type of video game you want to make. That's pretty cool.
I want to lean a little shorter, but so at Scad they have a game development program, which is great, but their pipeline very much is. We want to teach you to do a very specific role in AAA game development. Yeah. We want to teach you how to like rig or make models or program in the context of your.
And is that just like those are the marketable skills that like companies are looking
Scad for being an art school is very much like we're trying to get you a job, right? For better or worse. Yeah. I mean, I think people hear art school and sometimes they want a little bit more of like an academic, like creative sense. But luckily, the immersive reality program is a little more vibey in the sense that like you get to be experimental, and they're not like they'll teach you the skill sets on how to like use the engine and stuff, but you can really
you have a little more freedom with it.
You touch a lot of different things. You have more freedom. They're open towards more experimental. The baseline is just like a very experimental program, so I could learn game development that way more naturally. So that's what I'm there for. But the goal is ultimately I'm just going to make interactive movies.
Do you think you'll stop? Like ever doing stand-up and just like focus mainly on that, or no? Because you think one builds the other.
I think ultimately anything that helps me write is good for every other thing that I do, and I like to find different modes of writing. Like whenever I joke about playing music, the basis for me playing guitar was like I wanted to write songs because for me that was like a very experimental, like abstract space to just like form something. Yeah. And then I like doing stand-up because it's like okay, I have to construct my thoughts in a very specific way. So whenever I'm writing a screenplay, I understand like setup, punchline, and what the payoff is, and I can feel that in a script more actively. And then now translating all of that to like, okay, what is the feelings movies evoke, and what is like the feelings a joke, and like how do I mix that into an interactive space? So like I view all those things as building together. So I'll never stop doing stand up. I just don't ever think it'll be like the one thing that I do. Yeah,
that's pretty fucking awesome, man. Like that. Design video games would be. I think that would be so much fun. I've just never been. Like as a kid, I played video games, but I was never good at video games. So like now as an adult, I'm just like, I die like twice in a video game. Like I fucking hate this. I don't want.
And
this.
I mean, I like playing those action shooting games and stuff.
My friend Adam, he for sure on the spectrum. We were stationed together in New York. And he's from Rochester, New York, and he just like has never left that area. I think the only time he ever left was like when we went to Afghanistan. Okay. And like he lives there right now, and he has played Red Dead Redemption. Yeah. I'm not even exaggerating. All the way through the storyline, like 30 times. Yeah. It's absurd, and then like
especially that game too. Yeah.
And like I'll like message him like, hey man, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just doing some chores in Red Dead. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I just gotta chop some wood and take care of these animals. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? This is not a game. This is you just have a job.
Right. No, that's what I was like. Oh, people they want these types of spaces to exist in more than just
an escape.
Yeah.
It's an escape. Even if it's like a menial task that like you could do in real life, but it's just like
there's
no consequences in this.
There's something called unpacking, which is a game where you literally just like unpack boxes and put stuff in a room, and it's like there's a narrative, but you're just like rearranging stuff.
I played this VR game one time. It was really fun, where you're a cat and you're in this house and you just jump from shelf to shelf. You knock things off shelves, and it is so much fun.
Yeah,
it's therapeutic and relaxing.
Right, and I like stuff like that personally. And I think that there's like just more expansion that's going to happen in that space, especially as people have phones that can play cooler stuff.
Yeah,
and so. Yeah, I wanted to learn game development. So, like, hopefully my goal is to, like, I want to take 3 hours of people's life. Like, I don't want to make long games. I'm not trying to, at least not right now. I just want to, like, have your evening and you play a game that was $5 to $10.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I got my money's worth by doing that.
Nice. Yeah. That's a pretty fucking cool idea, man.
Thanks.
All right, so let's see. Where we've talked about a lot. Sorry, we've gone on some tangents.
I've been all over the place. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. That's what I wanted to be. Like, there's so much of your life. Like, it's difficult to cover in a short amount of time. Yeah. But you're in Savannah. You are married at this point, right? Mm-hmm. Like, your wife is doing her med school stuff.
Yeah.
And when you move to Savannah, you like immediately start going to Scad.
Yeah, I mean the summer after. We moved here in June, and then
Did you have a job here, or you were just focusing on school?
No, Scad is kind of hard to have a full-time adult job, and I cat sit sometimes for extra money, but cool. It's fun. I get to be cats,
And then, like, what is your introduction to the Savannah comedy scene?
Yeah, so I took a bit of a break. I think I was like I said, I was coming into it with a weird my last comedy scene had fallen apart.
Yeah,
I was also like, well,
were you like cautious? Be like, okay, like almost like gun shy. Like, okay, like if I go back into this, like, what if it happens again or something like that? Or did you?
I think I was just like annoyed with personalities at that point in time, and I was like, is that kind of spaces I want to be in again? Yeah. And then, but also I realized I was like, oh, I was responsible for a lot in the last one, whereas now these mics run and like people manage it, so I won't have to go do that. Like, I can come do my comedy and then meet people and then like sort of decide.
Did you make a conscious effort? Because once you like, if you have the type of personality where you want to create an environment, which you had to do twice in Huntington, like, did you have to like stop yourself like, hey, no, don't try
really
to like do
I've like considered opening mics here, but I'm like, oh, the people who run these are like really considerate and like they know what they're doing, and I will help out in any way that I can. I'm trying to be more actively involved whenever I can be, but it was definitely like I had to like bury this part. It's like, are you going to start an open mic and then here's going to be your showcase, and then so it's like I had to. It's also time wise, like Scad takes up a lot of my time, so I was like, I can't obligate myself to those things. Yeah. So we got here in 2023, and I didn't start performing until the end of 2024.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was just like in a weird, and I also like went through some stuff where I'm like, maybe I was only funny in West Virginia. Maybe I was only funny in my 20s.
Did you dabble a little bit at all, and that's why you thought that, or?
Maybe I went and done like one mic, like I did like one totally awesome bar at some point in 2024, but I was like, I don't know how I feel, and I was like wasn't writing new material, and that was another hang up after like so many years of not writing stand up. I was like, maybe I just really can't write stand up anymore. Like it was just like this weird moment, and I'm like, I'm gonna force myself at the end of 2024 to go do a few mics in a row. And what you have to write a new bit at some point.
Every mic or?
At that point in time, it was literally just like, you can't keep doing these old jokes. So I was like, but you're going to do them to start off with your old set until you feel confident enough that the next thing you write is funny. And then so luckily, after doing like 3 mics, I was like, oh, I know how to write it, and I wrote it.
You knocked the rust off. You like got back in the swing. We got your stage presence back.
Yeah, and I felt like the clicks of like, okay, this is how I frame it, and this is how it like.
Do you think the crowd is different here in Savannah than like the other places that you've done? Like different social cues, like the level of comedy that they're wanting to do. I think Kenny brought it up in like bigger like Savannah it's this weird thing. It is
a weird size
big city, but it's a big city in that like. It has like the ports. It has Gulfstream. It has like the Hyundai factory. It's big in that sense, but like not like big city like New York big city. Does that make sense?
Right. It's like a really big town. I mean, it's pretty. It's insular, and like the comedy scene will be pretty much restricted to the handful of people that run it. Yeah.
So Kenny was saying, like in a big city, like I think he mentioned Chicago too, but like in just bigger cities, like they're. I'm not like talking shit about something, but they want like a higher level of comedy, like almost like a higher brow comedy. Where like in Savannah, you can get away with like some lower brow comedy. I think.
Yeah, I think that there is part of that. where like a lot of times you are performing for tourists who are drunk and they want something a little more like edgy or late night, like looser.
Right.
Then I think where we were performing for was mostly college students and college professors who did want something a little more sharper and constructive.
Well, their mind is so geared towards like the academic world, or like I want academia and humor to be this thing.
And also the spaces we were performing in was a certain type of like progressive liberal who would like read, The Atlantic or whatever. Like, so we were playing to that crowd, and here it's like, I have actually written some really like, my stuff is probably a lot dirtier. And I'm balancing that out too, because I actually preferred the older stuff I was writing a little bit, but I think the stuff I'm writing now is like,
it's a good balance.
Yeah, so I'm trying to find like what is the mix of the new stuff I'm writing with the things I liked about my old writing. Yeah. So there's like you'll have to navigate that in every town. I've known people who like were I mentioned those comedians who were coming from Brooklyn. Yeah. Like some of them would come and would objectively be hilarious in Brooklyn. Yeah. And then literally it's like is not landing in West Virginia whatsoever. Really? Yeah. That's crazy. And then literally we had a guy on stage and he's like this really crushes in Brooklyn, and somebody's like, maybe you should have stayed in Brooklyn. And this guy is, I actually think, brilliant, hilarious, like well-considered, thought-out comedian, but his stuff was so tailored to work in that space he's from that it just like didn't translate outside of that.
I think it's, Brett told me this, I think it's a Nate Bargatze quote. He's like, once you get good in a city to where you're like, and this is for obviously a comedian doing it like full-time, like that is your job. Like once you're getting booked consistently on shows, start going outside of the city. Yeah. Because, and his reasoning was, one big reasoning is just like, hey, like get different crowds, different jokes, like, like tailor, just make yourself more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like
versatile?
Versatile, yeah. But he's also like, okay, so if you're getting consistently, but you can get any show in this town. Mm-hmm. And then one day there's going to be a new comic and then he's going to like be ahead of you and then you're going to feel jaded. Okay. That was something, and that was his like thought on it. But like definitely going like traveling and like seeing, because when I went to Orlando, where my worst bomb ever happened, it was just a very different crowd, and like it wasn't like a rowdy room, like it was a quiet room. It was like an engaged audience, and I was doing jokes like, oh, he's crushed in Savannah, and like nothing. And again, that was like 2 months into comedy, so like taking it on the road was a stupid idea, but
no, you have to go out and do it. Let's try. Especially like there's a certain subset of mics, and once you do them any number of times, you're like, oh, I want to go see what other rooms are like. Run into it. Yeah.
Now the thing is, so like you're in Savannah, you're doing comedy, and like you to get into that world is just like you just Google like open mics or like looked at a flyer.
So I had some awareness of what was happening because in 2016, my friend had a gig here for like 2 weeks. So I came down with
comedy.
No, it was he worked for like he was like a military contractor and was like doing something on like the base, and he's like, I'm going to like pay for me to have an Airbnb for 2 weeks. Can you want to come hang out? So I did, and I did some mics here in 2016.
Okay. Which mics were they?
So actually it didn't close. It's not there. I think both of them really aren't here anymore. But there was a place called Chuck's on River Street. Yeah. That was really cool. Probably one of the coolest rooms I mean, the mics here are like.
I feel like I missed like the golden age.
Yeah,
of the
you always.
mic
I mean, I think everybody's always going to reminisce, but it was like a really cool room. And then the Wormhole, I think, had
I've heard about the Wormhole.
Yeah, and they still do comedy occasionally. But I think what they were doing was I don't think it was on an open mic. I don't think I was asking on a showcase, but I performed at the Wormhole. So I did those, and in that I had met people like Mike Flowers.
Mike, great comic. Shout out to Mike.
Yeah, there's some people who aren't here anymore. Like Derek, I don't know if you've seen Derek Marshall perform.
I don't think
he's
so.
He's in Atlanta now. He comes back every once in a while. Nice. Very, very funny. So I had those people on socials.
Tracy Hardy's in Atlanta now?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm really happy for him.
He's doing really good there, yeah.
I like Tracy. I'm excited to watch Tracy.
Tracy. That's my first friend in comedy.
It's been really cool to watch you, Brett, and Tracy grow.
Thank you.
And it's like I vibe with Tracy's comedy a lot.
I love Tracy, dude.
Gerard Smith.
Solid.
Actually, not probably. The most brilliant comedian, I think.
Yeah. You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
As far as, like, I think he's, like, so well considered.
His timing is impeccable.
Very, particular delivery, but the contents of it's, like, a casual topic. Right. That he's also just like, I can tell you've plunged into this to find the real, like, meat of this thing, and that really gets me going. Yeah. So I knew those people, so I had seen, like, posts of, like, okay, these are the mics that are happening. I knew that Totally Awesome Bar was a thing. I could go there.
And you had some connections that you like could reach out to.
I mean, I was a guy that passed through once at this point, like 8 years ago. So it wasn't like a whole bunch, but I was like, yeah, I've been to Chuck's, and like that gave me some in, I think, with people. So yeah, I just started going back, and then I learned, okay, these are the ones that happen all throughout the week. Yeah.
Okay, nice, man. So I want to get into these things, and it's just, I don't know if this is, I don't think it's your original quote, but I've heard you say it the first time, and I've said it a lot, and I've used this throughout like the show and stuff like that. But advice that I've got from you, and like, if there's any other advice that you have for like a new up and coming comic, like starting out a new city, especially like Savannah specifically. But one of the things you said is, because, you know, open mic scene is rough because it's just a bar that people want to go drink at. And then there's a guy that comes on stage and says, hey, strangers are going to come up here and talk about crazy shit for like an hour and a half. And they're not there for that. They're just like, I just worked 40 hours. I'm going to get fucking hammered. And like, but the quote is comedy sometimes happens at a bar, and comedy sometimes happens to a bar.
Yeah.
Right. So like, where did you hear that from? It's the most true thing ever.
Thank you. I hate to say, I think I did come up with it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I feel like I'm like maybe forgetting if there was something else, but like I remember joking that to a friend at a mic, and I was just like, this just happened to this place. Yeah. Like nobody wanted this. Yeah. They didn't at any point buy in, like, because sometimes that's always the coolest thing I think that does happen is whenever the people there is like, we're at a burrito restaurant right now. The show we used to book was at a burrito restaurant, and it's like, we're just sat down here.
And then when you like get the crowd
and when
to
they
buy
all buy in,
because sometimes you'll do it. So like Dub's Pub, they do like I've done a couple shows. Me and Kenny have done shows. Wendy's done shows. Really good show. It's like grown a lot. But like that's a restaurant, and like up there they go, and like people are like, it's happening at that location.
Right.
But like if you go to like McDonald's, right? It's happening to that location. Yeah. Yeah. It's
people
pretty,
have said
like,
they are on a walking tour, and they have sat down to eat chicken and drink cheap beer, and now there's somebody who's up there who's like, Rand's crazy, right? And,
and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, right. And it's like, this is going to go on or especially McDonald's, people are waiting for karaoke. Yeah. So they came there for a very particular thing that you are now delaying. Yeah. So like, they're not on board with it. But that's just like part of it. I think then the flip of it is whenever you can get them to buy in, it's really good. So like, there's a beautiful magic
when you
there.
get them, they're like, hey, I know you guys didn't want this, but like, just listen. And then you like rein them in, and like, I've had some of my best sets at McDonald's, and some of like my just like, not like bombs, but like the crowd was just like, we don't give a fuck. Like, you know, like I wasn't even doing comedy to an audience. Like I don't consider that a bomb, I think. Yeah. Or maybe it is because I couldn't captivate them. I don't know. And then the next thing, I think this is the most important like piece of advice. You actually gave it to Tracy Hardy, and then he told me, because I was at this point where like, again, I hyperfixate on things. So when I first started comedy, I was like out every single night. Like I was writing constantly, and I was like, I have to do this, I have to be funny, I have to kill every night I go out. Yeah. And like I was getting stressed about going to an open mic. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And then like Tracy mentions like, hey man, it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was Stafford's, and like he saw you there. And like Tracy was kind of in that same slump where we were like that, our little like group of newer comics. We were just like, we have to do this, we have to do this, we have to do this. And he's like, dude, Nate just said to me, like, just have fun. Like you're doing like just that is some
I
of
don't
the
know if I'm
best
in a position to be doling out advice to anybody, but I had noticed.
It's one of those do as I say, not as I do.
Well, and it's also like I tell you all not to stress, and you all sometimes see me in my notebook right before. Like I am a neurotic person also, and sometimes I have to get in that. That's where my writing comes from. Yeah. But I was noticing you all get off stage, and it was just like you looked miserable by the end of it, and like I don't know what your expectations necessarily were, and I was like, you all are really new. Like you're figuring so many things out. That's like the baseline what your version of comedy is going to be, and you're not going to enjoy this long if you are just like beating the shit out of yourself.
And I was doing that, Like if
I had seen so many people start comedy who like had potential to keep doing comedy and be good, and they just wanted to stop because they're like, this isn't fun. And I'm like, you made it not fun. Even if you stress a little bit about like, oh, am I writing good stuff? Have I written enough? Like, did this thing land or not work? I had bombs where I had like a streak of bombs where literally in my like set book I was like, fuck my life. Like, did I have a brain injury? This is so awful. I normally do well.
Have I run out of funny stuff for the rest of my life?
It's even jokes that I had said to people a dozen times that worked, and it just wasn't working anymore. I'm like, what happened? But I don't know. You just like, you gotta kind of appreciate what your goal is to do there. I realized one of my things that like stopped me from doing comedy for a bit was just like, do people want this? Dude, people need me.
Yeah.
We have enough comics. There's more comics doing it post-COVID than there ever was pre-COVID. Like, I don't know if I need... And then, after I did a couple shows, because I'm, that type of narcissist who needed to go back and be in front of people, I was like, oh no, this brings joy to people. Yeah. And it should bring joy to, like, me. And it's like, people like a clever thought, or like hearing a story they've never heard before, and, like, this is actual value for them.
You know what's one of my favorite, like, audience members is, But no, to touch on that, like 100%, like that's helped me a lot. I took a step back from open mics, and like I wasn't going out right, and I was just like, it's okay. Like it was getting overwhelming. I was getting stressed about going to an open mic. I'm like, what am I? Like I'm not getting paid for this. Like what do you? Mm-hmm. And I wasn't funny when I was stressing like that. Right. I was going out there just.
It's like hindering you from wanting to engage with it more.
Yeah, and so it felt like a chore to me instead of something that I was like passionate about. Yeah. So taking a step back, I think, helped me out a little bit. And then like you took your step back. What was 2 years or something? I mean, or like a year. Sorry.
Yeah, year and a half.
Yeah, and then like you came back and you had like all of these new ideas and stuff like that. You kind of like reset yourself. So I think pacing it better, and again, that's a flaw of mine of hyperfixating and just like I need to do something until it's not fun. Like that's what my head does.
I always think about this with like wizards. You know, like
okay, sure.
So it's like probably doing magic for a wizard is not fun because it's just like technically it looks really cool. Sorry, this is maybe a bad analogy. Whenever we see somebody like shooting, no, wizards aren't real. I know that. But like we're like this is fantastical and amazing. But I'm like this guy just like had to learn for 30 years and he's just like do it. Like he knows how to do it. Okay. There's some luster that gets lost whenever you know the technique.
The novelty of it.
Learning it, knowing how to do it. Like I think you lose some of like this is a cool thing that I can do. Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
Sorry, to bring up wizards.
No, that's crazy comparison. But I get what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, so is there any like other advice that you have for like a new comic before we jump into first set, worst set?
Again, I don't think I'm in a position to give comedy advice, but...
You absolutely are. You've been doing comedy for 12 years, my guy.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's not like I'm... Anyways. Well, the thing I think with advice, too, is always particular is, like, this is all particular to my subset of experiences, and your challenges may be completely different. Right. I found I'm a much better curator of myself than I am, like, going to write the funniest thing every time.
How do you mean?
Like, I write tons of unfunny things, and I think there's, like, this expectation early on that's, like, I will hit a point where I will never have an unfunny idea, and every idea I have is gold or is close to gold, and I'm just like, I'm going to write everything, and maybe this will be something, maybe I can work this into something, but my goal, actually, is to, like, recognize the good stuff in reflection. And then that is what I'm packaging. It's not like I was like going to hit this point of like perfection.
Right.
And I think that helps me a lot because I also want people to like write new stuff that challenges them to like do things that are different. Like I figured out like, I like this type of comedy early on. Yeah. And then I just kept writing that type of comedy. And then I'm like, actually, I think I should scare myself a little bit and like
change it up.
Just like, I don't know if this is going to work.
Do you ever have an idea that you write down and you're like, no, this isn't a great idea, but then you like challenge yourself to like make it a good idea? Yeah. That's a good exercise. I think like, hey, this thing, like you just can't for whatever reason find the funny in it. Yeah. But then you're like, no, I'm going to find the funny in this and like make it a bit.
Right. And I have like 30 different ways I like to write where it's just like how to get to a bit, and it's never like, okay, I sit down and I've constructed it. So I think making yourself write stuff that you're like, I don't know what this is going to be, and then you say it on stage and you're like, I found the thing in there. I don't like when people go up and like, I don't have anything, I'm just going to riff, because I think especially when
it's anxiety inducing. That's crazy.
I'm just like. You're really new. Like you should spend some time thinking about what you're going to say. Please spend
you should humble yourself a little bit.
I just need so much. Not just particularly here, but like and just put stuff out after you know what you're doing a little bit. Yeah. Challenge yourself.
Yeah. Because it's the only way you'll grow, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's Kenny calls it finding the funny. So his thing is like if he gets an idea, he was saying like he'll find the funny. Yeah. And then sometimes work backwards. It's like, how do we get to the funny?
Yeah, how do we set up this funny? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because initially the first thought is the funny thing. Is the funny thing. And it's like, well, how do I make this like the setup enjoyable for this too? Yeah. I don't want to give like writing exercise advice, but I do like I've sometimes started bits where it's just like I think about the extreme statement, where it's just like the scariest thing about X.
Yeah. Like a hyperbolic statement that's just outrageous.
And I have to start from the most extreme, and I just have to riff that. But like, it's the premise is like, what is the scariest thing about car culture?
Yeah.
You know, and then I have to be okay. Car culture. What is like? This is crazy when people have like arguments with their wife in the car, and so it's like, okay, that's like when we're going in this direction now. But starting from that point is like that helps.
Yeah. It's like that you're jumping off.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I mean, that's good advice. Like I said, I need to like restructure how I'm writing because I'm like hitting.
But that is finding that, like, the cool thing about stand up is like it's so particular to you, and it doesn't have to look like anything, and it doesn't have to look like anything forever. So it's like find new stuff, try new things. I one time wrote a script. Like I had to write a script for somebody. If all of them going long, you can stop me. But I had to like write a script, and I was like sitting at my laptop, and I like it was like never coming. Yeah. And I like literally laid down on my side on my phone and wrote out like a 20-page script.
Really?
And I was like, I don't know why this is a banger script, but like it took me doing the exact opposite of what I normally do.
What if that's the only way you could write scripts now? Like you just like condition yourself like I have to be laying down.
No, I just keep putting myself in increasingly crazier scenarios to write scripts now. It's taking a lot.
Okay, but no, I think those are really good advice, man. And I like, dude, you are a tremendous comic, man. It's you like just seeing you on stage and just really just hanging out with you. Like you're a funny guy.
That's nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's been cool to watch. Like the context I watched other comedians come up in was much different now than like the number of mics you all can do and how quickly you all can pivot and change and learn. And that's been like really cool in a very short amount of time watching you all get much better.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
But let's jump into. So we'll wrap it up with this. First set, worst set. So we kind of like. Do you want to mention your first set in Savannah? Well, no, because you're a seasoned comic guy. Your very first set in West Virginia. Yeah. What 2013, right?
This one was the day of the Pope. It was all Pope jokes.
Yeah, right. The Pope jokes. Yeah, May whatever the fuck it was.
I can't even remember.
Remember any of the premises? Did you bomb?
I did well. I actually think I had the best case scenario where it's like I didn't bomb and I didn't crush.
Was it an open mic or a show?
It was an open mic, yeah. Mm-hmm. I did well enough that I'm like, I can improve upon this, which I think is the best. I feel really bad. I've seen some comedians go out and out the gate, crush it.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is fucking easy. And then by the third mic in, they're like, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And they can't rework their brain to know how to do it.
That was me. Because I did like the front porch, and it just like I had a dedicated crowd, right? So like it wasn't happening to that place.
They were bought in at that point to come to the front porch.
Yeah, and they knew that we were like first time ever doing comedy and stuff like that. So they're like preconditioned, like okay, let's be a little like
let's give them some grace.
Yeah. And it did great. And then like I went to Tab, and like I did well at Tab too. And then like the third or fourth mic, there was Staffords. I died so hard. I was like, all right, well, this is very different. But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. So I did well enough that I was like, I need to learn from this and redo it. And at that point in time, I was doing sketch comedy also, which there's a delay in the feedback that you get from sketch comedy. And I think I love that, where I was like, oh, I don't have to wait for a comment or a like or something. I know immediately if this is funny or not. So I think I do remember one joke, but I'm not. It was a racist joke.
Nice.
I didn't mean it to be. I thought I was like calling out systemic racism.
Did you actually being racist?
But I think the framing of it was the first time ever writing stand up was like really bad because it's the first time there was like a lot of news stories about like there was a chance that there was going to be a black pope.
Yeah.
I guess like one of the people who like made it through the final end of the first time ever happening, and I was like.
The Pope Gauntlet.
He's in a room.
There's like an NCAA bracket to popes.
He's in a room full of old white dudes from all over the world who are most likely going to be. There's no way they're letting him just the racism of the world.
Did you like frame it at, like accidentally like this is your point of view? Like
it sounded like that's what I was like endorsing this idea. Like there's no way he's going to be.
There'll never be a black pope as long as I'm alive.
So I was like, oh.
What was the crowd like on? Like, did they laugh?
There was giggles for most of the jokes, and there was and then I realized pretty quickly I was like, I framed that entirely wrong, and I should not have brought that up. If you clip that, fuck you.
Oh, it's getting clipped. Nate Cesco hates black popes. You heard? No, I'm kidding. This is a joke, guys.
I think it's time for the first black James Bond and the first black pope, and I think those need to happen in the same year.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Okay, so that's first set, right?
Yeah.
All right. Hit me with worst set. The one that like keeps you up in your, or maybe you're past that point where it doesn't keep you up because you're just like you've done so much. You've like
thankfully, I think my
you're mentally resilient enough to be like.
It ended up being funny to me because I was in West Virginia. My pocket was pretty particular, but I would get asked to go to like small towns that weren't necessarily wanting to hear at this point in time a 21-year-old liberal kid being like,
here's my opinions on
here's what I think
it.
about the world. So I went to this place, it's called Easy Street in Nitro, West Virginia, a place literally named after gas.
Yeah.
I show up, people are smoking inside, which is the point in time where you can't legally do that, but they just don't
care. Yeah.
I'm performing, there's like a bar, there's like a, functionally like a cafeteria looking area, and then this massive stage that's like there for like full, like 5-piece larger bands. Right. And to the right of that is a single bowling lane.
One bowling lane?
It's just like a thing that I guess you could buy, you can implement. That it's like you're like.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
It was like a full lane bowling alley like style lane. The host goes up, does fine. He's like really tailored for this crowd. Second comment does fine, and then it gets to me, who just has all top.
Were you like confident? You're like, oh man, this is gonna be a good crowd.
No, I think I clocked pretty early. I was like, these people are not gonna like me. And I went up and I had the brazen confidence of somebody who's starting off doing stand up comedy.
Yeah.
And it's silent. It's like dead silence in a bar, and then literally some people walk over to the bowling lane, put money in it, and throughout the course of my set start bowling.
Oh no!
So that's what I'm performing, and I'm like, I just gotta get through my
material.
material.
And you just hear the crash of the pins.
This is a paid show. The rolling, the crashing, their cheers at how they did. They were like, we're gonna. And then as soon as I got off stage, they walked back to their seats.
No! What?
Yeah.
That's awful.
I have experienced sad things in my life up until this point, but there
just
was
a gut punch.
I was in this vortex.
And you're on the road on like a show, so you're using like your polished material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it leans a little more topical, but I'm like, this is a crowd's worth this, and I got like I've told those jokes other places.
Yeah.
And they just rightfully, I was like, I shouldn't have been booked on this show. Yeah. They weren't into it, but there was something, and I think it was whenever they walked back, because then at that point there was no doubting it. It's like they're here for a comedy show, and I was the worst part of the comedy show. Yeah.
Fuck.
So that one stuck with me for a while, and then
what do you do? So I mentioned earlier on, like, you have this quality about you, right? Like that you just. And I think it's just your experience. You've done so many reps, and like you're confident in your material and like your ability to make people laugh. So like I think it was like PS Tavern. It was like a rough mic, but like you have this like positive attitude, and like you have this smile on your face even when like the crowd's not wanting it. Like you could still like I don't see you like hit a dead stop in your like flow of your jokes. You keep going, and you're able to like navigate it to where like you still make it fun for you, which is I think a great quality to have.
Well, because thank you. I'm here to tell jokes. Yeah. I should tell my jokes. This is if I want to give advice to other people too. I think whenever comedians, especially on an open mic, everybody's calling out how not into it the room is.
Yeah.
It gets worse for everybody after you.
Yeah.
If that becomes the running
preconceived
joke,
notion of
because there is a world where you go up and you convince this room that you're into it, and you will never do that by being like, this all sucks, right? We all suck. I've done it. I maybe still will accidentally do it if it's bad enough. But I try to avoid that as much as possible. It's like
smart.
And also, there is a ridiculousness of it where you're like, why did I think I should be here doing this? And that to me doesn't like hurt or like it's just like this is so silly, but I'm here holding the mic. So
if you think that it is silly, it's like these people were not expecting this.
They don't want this.
Like, let me talk. Look, what's going on in the news right now?
I know your conversation is important with your friend you haven't seen for years, but I have a lot of thoughts about my marriage. And you should know them all. And you should know about my marriage.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous act. So like whenever I feel a little bit of joy in that moment where I'm just like, I think that's the only way I can convey this to be positive in any way. So yeah.
That's fucking dope, man. That's the show, dude.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming out, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I love talking to you, man. I love to have you back on the show. Doing Portal Mic tonight? Or Portal Bar?
Yeah, I'm going to try.
Nice.
Yeah.
Portal, again, Mondays at 9 p.m. M. Joy's hosting. It's a great open mic. And they have just hot dogs. Have you ever gotten a hot dog? It's pretty good.
I have not had I have not ventured, but I understand the hot dogs
fucking
are.
hot dogs tonight.
Why did you say it like a threat?
We're getting fucking hot dogs tonight. That's it for the show. Thank you guys for joining us. Next week, I have an awesome guest for you. You know this person, Liz.
Oh, Liz is super.
Got her last name.
I'm not going to say it.
I don't know. Liz, you know who you are.
Yeah.
It's M. Joy's girlfriend. She's so funny. She's big into the front porch improv. She's hilarious.
Yeah.
She does a lot of charity work. She's super funny and really sweet. But thank you again for coming out. You want to plug your socials, shows that you have coming up and stuff like that? We'll wrap it up.
I mean, if you're interested, you can just find me, Nate Cesco. You will find a lot of just personal life stuff. I'm getting more clips, but just follow me there. I don't really have anything in particular to plug right now, but yeah.
Nice.
Thanks for having me, man. This was fun.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next week.